That's right, we're finally on the pitch. It's game time. Well, fake games anyway. The preseason friendly tournament European International Cup. But at least we get to play and see how the new guys do. I know this looks like it's off to a good start, but when you look closer, you'll see. We're in white, not Bradford City red for this game. Our first exhibition game did not go well. A 3-0 loss to Cittadella, but we got out on the pitch, we got to see the new guys in action, and we got to know them. As always, don't forget to subscribe down below. You can also follow us on Twitter at TotalFIFACM or on Instagram at Total FIFA Career Mode. And of course, as always on our website where we have a game recap for every game, www.totalfifacareermode.com. I could be upset by this loss. I know the tabloids will be, but it's the first game. We got a lot of new players. More importantly, we had 3 guys out there who are never going to see the pitch once the season starts. They were holdover from Bradford City. They were low to mid 50s ratings, and they simply just were out there because they fit my under 22 rule. They're going to get replaced here very shortly, which is what we're going to do next here. Now, in the last video, episode 2, I went into a lot of detail about the signings, how we made them, what the thinking was, so you kind of have an idea of how we're trying to make this roster and the kind of players we're looking for. I don't need to go in that kind of detail now. I'm just going to tell you about it as you watch the signing of our first player, Jonas David. Jonas is a 19-year-old center back from Hamburger SV, and he's going to end up slotting right next to Nathan Wood, and the two of them are really going to be the cornerstone of our defense. We just got torched for 3 goals, although part of that was definitely because we had a 51 rated center back out there on the pitch. He's not going to play anymore. Jonas Davis is going to come in and take his place, no problem. He's going to be a great fit for us. He's big, he's strong, he's actually pretty athletic, can move around, and so he and Nathan Wood are really going to anchor that central defense. So we end up acquiring David for Jermaine Anderson and $530,000, which is pretty steep, but he's a really good player and he really fits our roster. Now to this point we've focused mostly on defense, either central defenders or defensive midfielders. Now it's time to add some offense. As you saw last game, we didn't score, and if you saw more highlights you'd see we really didn't even come close. So it's time to add some offense. Our first target is Julian von Moos, and he comes from FC Basel. He's an 18-year-old, and he's a pure striker. He's an old-fashioned number 9. He doesn't fit into our versatility, but he's got the potential to be a really dynamic goal scorer. So we end up getting him for Connor Wood and $50,000. This is a no-brainer. He's young, and he's exactly what we're looking for at the top of our lineup so that we can actually score some goals. Now, my next signing I was a little bit torn on. His name's Michael Olise, and he's a 17-year-old Frenchman, and he was expensive, which is really why I was torn on him. Plus, he's not all that versatile. He's basically just a pure attacking player, wing, attacking mid, which, you know, is some versatility, but there's a lot of guys that fit that mold, so you don't have to go out of your way to find one. But he's young, and he's left-footed, and that was important because I don't have anybody yet at this point that can attack from the left side. And, you know, especially with the young players, so many of them have really poor weak foot ratings, 2 stars at best. And so if you're really trying to put a right-footed player out on the left wing, it really limits their attacking ability. So I was looking for a good, young, left-footed attacking player with high potential. And he fit that mold and checked all those boxes. So we went out and got him for Shea McCartan. I still had to pay $412,000, but he fit a really important need, and he's a guy I can slot into the lineup. Now at this point, the one area I really haven't addressed properly is my central midfield. I really don't have a true center mid, and obviously that's such an important position in terms of ball distribution and possession control, so it's really something I need to address because I just don't have any of it. So the guy I've targeted here is Mark Aguado. He's a 19-year-old from Real Zaragoza, and he's got everything I'm looking for. He's got some versatility, but he's a true center mid, and he can play center mid, he can play out on left or right mid, and he can play attacking mid, and his weak foot rating is a 3-star, which is pretty good for this age and this level of development, so he can move around to either side, which gives me a ton of versatility to move around the other guys who are weaker in that department. So he's a guy I'm going to go after, and I'm able to get him in a straight swap for James Vognin, who's a 30-year-old striker that just doesn't fit what I'm trying to do. So the ability to get him just on a straight player swap really helps. So the 4 guys we just acquired really slot in to fill the exact weaknesses we had in that opening lineup in the first game. Tolomello was playing out of place as a striker. He can do it, but it's not really his strength. So he can slide down to right back. Bali Mumba goes to the bench where he probably belongs. Sliding into that striker spot is Julian Van Moos, and then to the left of him, replacing Gibson, will be Michael Olise. Down below you have Devine, who was on the right center mid, and that's going to be Mark Aguado's spot, and then below him, replacing French, is Jonas David. So the guys we just signed really take the place of all of our weaknesses here. So we're all optimistic going into exhibition match number 2 against La Spezia. They're a Serie B team. We got the new starting 11 out there. Everybody's ready to go, and yeah. We don't get off to the best start. They put one by Sonny Layton early on, and unfortunately it's downhill from there. They come out with the second one in the 43rd minute, makes it 2-0. Serie B guys just tossing volleys past me like it's no big deal. I'm not playing Juventus here. Now we got their big striker tossing headers in from the penalty line. My defense can't stop them. We're not getting possession. Nothing's going right. It's an absolute abomination. By the 62nd minute, 4-0. Sonny Layton's like a sieve out there. Finally, in the 77th minute, we get on the board. Julian Van Moos gets one past their goalkeeper. It's nice to see our new striker actually finding the net. Not going to matter in this game, but, then again, this game doesn't matter, so it doesn't really affect anything, but it would have been nice to have a better showing. 4-1, then they pile on again. This guy's doing side headers to the near post like it's no big deal, and I just don't stand a chance here. We tack on a late goal in the 90th minute, but, far too little, far too late, and we basically go out and just get our asses handed to us in scrimmage game number 2. So, thanks a lot, La Spezia. That was fun. Now, before I put too much stock in this loss, it should be noted, I did try a different formation in this game. In game 1, I went with the 4-3-3 I demonstrated earlier. In this game, I went with a 3-5-2, so I had a shorter back line, 2 defensive midfielders, and I do like that formation, and we're going to use that in the future, although I'm going to need better results out of it than we had today, clearly. As we go into game 3 here, I'm going to go back to the 4-3-3 with just the one holding defensive midfielder. That'll be Andres Pereira instead of the 2. Alright, so game 3 against Bristol Rovers, I'm really just trying not to get run off the field at this point. The first 2 games have been so freaking terrible. I'm really just trying to compete, and I'm playing a League 1 team that should be better than me, so I'm not real optimistic, but we come out, we play a pretty even game, which is a good sign. I don't have to start to get used to these players, I got a better formation, or whatever the case is, but this was definitely my best played game out of the 3, and it really wasn't even close. Early on, we get a chance here for Filippo Tolomello, and one of the reasons I went after him was because he could play anywhere on the pitch without losing too much in his overall rating. What I've seen here, though, and one of the reasons I wanted to play out these preseason games is I don't love his effectiveness as a striker. He controls the ball well, he's got a good handle, but he doesn't finish well, so it's something I'm going to work on in training, but until then I really can't play him as a striker. My boy Mark Aguado, though, he's coming out strong. He's definitely going to be a dude on my team. He's going to be a centerpiece in the offense, probably as an attacking mid, and he's got a real good finish there, as you just saw, put me up 1-0. So he's going to be a key piece. I'm also pretty pleased with Julian Von Moose, despite the miss you just saw there. He finished last game. He's got a nice strong boot. I'm pleased with how he's going to be as a striker. I'll admit that one of the pleasant surprises this preseason, despite giving up a lot of goals, has actually been the play of Sonny Layton, my goalkeeper. I was a little worried about him as a cornerstone of the defense, but he's done a nice job. So I tack on a late goal here. That's Callum Cook, who came on as a sub, and he's a holdover from the original roster who's going to see some playing time because he's actually decent right now, even though he's not a long-term piece. So I come in just trying not to get my ass kicked. I end up walking away with a 2-0 win, which is always great. Saw some good signs from the guys today, so this is a real nice way to end the preseason. So I finished the preseason 1-2. I'll get a little bit of money out of this. I don't get to advance and get more money, and that's the other reason I really wanted to play these games out. I was hoping to get that, but it didn't happen. I'm tentatively optimistic with what I've got. It would have been nice to play a little better the first two games, but we're moving forward, but there's still a piece missing. I feel like we're missing one key guy. If I go into the regular season like this, it's not going to go the way I planned, so I've got to make a move. I've got almost $4 million in the transfer budget thanks to all the guys I've sold off. That's almost double what I started the preseason with, and I've got to find a big fish. There aren't too many that are willing to come to League 2, but I've got a guy who's willing to come, and he is good. He's going to be a game changer for my team, and he's going to give us the talent we need, the impact player we need to really take League 2 by storm and get that automatic promotion we're looking for. But that's going to be for next episode. Don't forget to subscribe down below. You can also follow us on Twitter at TotalFIFACM or Instagram at TotalFIFACareerMode, and of course on our website www.TotalFIFACareerMode.com. We'll see you next week on Bradford City, road back to the Premier League.